The California Senate just voted to pass a single-payer Medicare for all bill. This is a huge victory. Now, the Sacramento Bee reports the California Senate approved the measure Thursday aimed at establishing a government-run universal healthcare system in the Golden State. The system, which would replace Obamacare or what follows it under the Trump administration, would dramatically overhaul the healthcare market in California. Approved on a 23-14 vote, it now moves on to the Assembly. With President Trump's promise to abandon the Affordable Care Act as we know it, it leaves millions without access to care, and Californians are once again tasked to lead, said Senator Ricardo Lara. Senate Bill 562 will finally enable California to cover all of its residents, creating a healthier and stronger state. Under the plan, government would renegotiate prices with doctors, hospitals, and other providers, acting as the single payer for everyone's health care in the place of insurance companies. All Californians would receive coverage regardless of immigration status or ability to pay. So this is a gigantic step in the right direction. Now, of course, as we all could have predicted, this bill is being attacked by both Democrats and Republicans because currently there's no funding mechanism for this bill. However, there are many ways to fund the bill. So the Sacramento Bee continues, University of Amherst researchers estimated that it would cost $331 billion to pay for the plan, a sharp decrease from the $400 billion price tag detailed in a Senate analysis released in May. The nurses' figure also represents an 18% decrease from current healthcare spending in the state. The nurses say the legislature can count on $225 billion in existing federal and state funding used for health coverage for low-income Californians, as well as other tax subsidies to help pay the tab. The study suggests lawmakers also create two new taxes in the state, a 2.3% gross tax on business revenue above $2 million and a 2.3% general sales tax on everything except housing, utilities, groceries, and other necessities. So there you have it. There are many ways to fund this bill, but because this version of the bill doesn't include a funding mechanism, people are throwing their hands up saying, oh, there's no funding mechanism, there's no way to pay for this, this is pie in the sky. No, this isn't pie in the sky. This is real life. This bill passed. And yes, when they do include the funding mechanism, which they haven't agreed to yet, they will have to re-vote on this bill in the Senate. But the fact that it passed by 23-14 shows that they have wiggle room. And California may have done something that will one day lead to nationwide single payer, because I've said it once, I'll say it again. When states try something new, sometimes you see the domino effect. You see it spill over into other states. They said the same thing about marijuana, that it was harmful and that, children would be smoking more marijuana. But Colorado is raking in the dough right now. They legalized marijuana along with Washington State. 2 years later, Oregon and Alaska fell. 2 years later, California and Maine fell. So it just takes one state to get the ball rolling. And we already see another bill in New York working its way through the state legislature. So this, to me, is just one of the biggest victories we can get right now. At a time when Trump is withdrawing from the Paris Climate Agreement and net neutrality is under attack, to have this victory now, hang on to it. It feels good, and we should feel good about this, because this is the result of grassroots activists in California fighting the good fight. So if you are a California citizen, you know exactly what to do. You need to call your local elected officials, and you've got to put pressure on them. Tell them to support this bill. The bill was SB 562. Call the governor of California if you don't reside in the state of California, because this is something that... This isn't just about California. This is about the United States of America. A victory for California with respect to Medicare for all is a victory for every single state. Because if California gets Medicare for all, Oregon might get it 2 years later, and then Washington, then New York. So again, if we really want to save lives and end the healthcare debate forever, this is the way to go. So I want to send a huge shout out and thank you to Senator Lara in the state of California, because what he did was courageous. He fought for this, he pushed it, and to anyone that voted in favor of this bill, you are an American hero. I don't know what your politics are besides this, but to vote for this makes you a hero. This will save lives, and it's the right thing to do. So this is phenomenal news. This is monumental.
Support this podcast by joining the independent progressive media revolution today at humanistreport.com.